Hey guys, Gozier Plus back to more today, and I am beginning my next mock draft. And I think you probably noticed that there's a little bit of a difference here. I think this is a different website. I think actually it kind of looks very similar. I don't know. Anyway, I will have trades in this mock draft for the first time this season. I think we're finally about there at that point where having mock drafts with trades makes sense. We've learned a lot about these teams and what they're planning on doing. The Bears seem to prefer offensive line through other means than drafting. The Seahawks receiver core is now gone. There's a lot of interesting things going on. The Giants are rumored to either be getting an older quarterback, trading up, or trading down. There's a lot of different things that could go on here. And seeing his name as Cameron Ward does not sit right with me. It's Cam Ward. It's Cam Newton. It's Cam Ward, all right? But here at the first pick, I do not have the Titans trading down. I just think no team wants to risk trading down at 1 to get that team their quarterback, and then that quarterback becomes one of the greatest of all time. So I think the Titans do still go Cameron Ward. And now calling him Cameron Ward. That's not a good development. But the Browns are up next. I'm not gonna waste too much time on a pick if I think it's obvious what they're gonna do. The Cleveland Browns. Abdul Carter did have a problem with his foot, I believe. So something could be going on there. Does that take him away from being the best, so far ranked the best player in the draft? I'm not sure if it does. And I haven't seen enough proof or enough rumors that really this is going to affect his stock at all. I'm going to have Carter still going at 2, so still similar first 2 picks. But for the Giants here, I think it's time to get the trades going. So I think if the Giants don't trade up, they will trade down, as I'm struggling to speak. But I think the team that trades up here will be going for Travis Hunter. And I think in this scenario, Sanders would fall. So I think the most likely trade, maybe it would be for Shedeur, and then the Giants pick later down the board, either a quarterback or something else. It's hard to say. Maybe the Giants just pick here. Now that I think about it, I think it's unlikely that they pass on Sanders here. I'm not sure, though. I mean, they could go with Hunter, but it's hard to say. Actually, I think let's have Giants Hunter. I'm actually going to go a different direction than I thought I was going to go in. I think I'm going to go with Patriots trade down with a team that's going for Sanders. So it's probably going to be a team wanting to trade up in front of the Raiders. And I think the most likely team there is the Saints. So I do Patriots, Saints. Patriots give up their 4th. Saints would probably have to give up a large haul, like a ton, to get this deal done. It's a pretty... Okay, it got rejected. Okay, I don't care for the realism of the trade. I just want to get the trade done. So, it's got to be real... I mean, it's only a first-round draft, so it doesn't matter to me if they won't like it or not. Anyway, so yeah, the Saints trade up in front of the Patriots. And, I think this is... If the Saints were to go with quarterback and want to trade in front of the Raiders, if they thought Sanders was worth it, I think this is a very plausible trade. Now we've got the Jags, and I think it's... I mean, I've been thinking D-line, but I think tackle might be more plausible here. Just trying your best to get find some way to keep Lawrence healthy and playing well, which hasn't been easy for them. So, is it Campbell or Membu? So I'm going in a different direction this draft. Because usually I have them picking a defensive tackle, either Graham or last draft I had them pick Grant. I don't even cough like that. I'm just starting now that I'm making this video. I think Bengal went with Membu. So how about I go with Campbell for this one? Campbell at 5 to the Jags, which leaves the Raiders in a spot where they just got robbed. They got traded in front of by the Saints. So they'd be like, all right, what do we do here? Do we reach? Because people are pretty high on Jackson Dart. Or do you continue to go with the likely better players? Or do you go Genty? I had them go Genty last time. I don't know. I think this is also a potential trade down spot. But would anybody trade up for any of these players? You know what? I mean, this is my first time doing trades. How about we make it interesting? 2 trades inside the top 10. And the team that trades up is... Hold on, I can't find them. Dallas. They want Ashton Genty before the Bears can. Because we've seen, in my last 2 mock drafts, I believe, Genty goes inside the top 10 before the Cowboys can get to him. And the Cowboys are like, we're not letting that happen. Genty goes at 6 to Dallas, which leaves players like Mason Graham still on the board outside of the top 6. Now we've got the Jets. I think the Jets stick and pick here. They have some very potential offensive issues. No Rodgers. They just really don't have a QB, but I feel like they might be going for a veteran. I don't know. I don't know if you pick quarterback here. So I'm going to go with... What could the Jets do here? I mean, if you see Mason Graham fall to you at 7, do you not pick him? Even with Quinnen Williams there. I don't see a simple pick for the Jets here. I think the best player available makes the most sense. Mason Graham goes to New Jersey. Even though they're called New York Jets. New Jersey Jets sounds good too, so they could change it if they wanted to. Panthers are up next here at 8. And I think edge makes a lot of sense. I got them pick receiver too. Receiver's really bad for the Panthers. Panthers fans can try to hype Jalen Coker up, but at the end of the day, the trio of Thielen, Leggett, and Coker does not move anybody except for Panthers fans. So I think edge or receiver are the 2 most likely positions here. And I think edge is very likely, actually. And I think Shamar Stewart is probably the pick here for Carolina. So now the Patriots are back, and Membu's still on the board. I don't think this is a complicated pick at all. I think the Patriots are just like, hold on. We just traded down from, 4 and still got Armand Membu? Like, they're probably very happy with that. So this is the draft so far. After the first 9 picks, and now we've got not San Francisco. Chicago. They could also use edge rusher or really line on either side, but we've seen them go for offensive line by trading for Joe Thuney? So that's not off the table, but it's more unlikely now. So I think it is probably defensive line or linebacker. Walker and where is he? Actually, can't find him. Am I tripping? Where's Jahad Campbell? Did he just not? Yeah, he's right here. Are both options. Of course, James Pierce, Michael Williams are both options as well. And they scouted, I guess, but that's unlikely. But the Bears need a guy that they want to get sack numbers. They probably don't really care for run stopping production right now. So I don't think Michael Williams is that likely because he's more of like a hybrid. You probably want someone who can really get after the passer or just be a defensive chip, like a defensive piece in general. And I think Walker's probably the best for that, especially because he can play off ball as well. I would go with him if I were the Bears in that scenario. As we move on to San Francisco. So they just traded away Debo. They could really use receiver. McMillan is here. Will Johnson's here, but he usually does end up falling in mock drafts. I'm not sure if he'll be in this one, but we'll see. Is this a 49er trade down spot? I mean, I don't think there's any players that someone would trade up for at this point, really. So far we've had, 2 trades? I think the 49ers are going to continue the stick and pick that the Bears did. But who do I have them going with? You know, how about early Matthew Golden? Earlier in my earlier mock drafts, I've been having Isaiah Bond go highly, but he ended up being nowhere near as explosive as I expected. So I'm going to probably back off from this draft and instead go with his teammate out of Texas, Matthew Golden, at 11. And now we've got the Raiders who traded down with the Saints. And I think with this pick, they are going to select Tedero McMillan out of Arizona, which brings us to 2 receivers in a row. And if the Giants have using Hunter as a corner, that'd be 3 as a receiver, that'd be 3 already. As we move on to Miami. The Dolphins really could take a lot of different positions here. I mean, if Tyreek actually does end up leaving, then that's open by receiver as well. But I think, Kelvin Mix is definitely viable here. I don't know why I'm saying viable like I'm talking about Pokemon VGC, but what do I have Miami doing here? Because I already know my next trade down spot's probably going to be Atlanta. Because, from what I've seen, we could use more picks, but... So what do I want the Dolphins to do? How about we go with Malachi Starks? He actually wasn't that great in the combine, I remember. I don't think he did anything crazy there. But still a very valuable player to most teams. I think he's the first on the Falcons board, from what I've heard too. So Dolphins snatch him from us. And Indianapolis, I think we'll still go Tyler Warren if he's still here at this point. Absolutely. And that leads us to our next likely trade down spot. I think the Falcons would see Will Johnson, Williams, Pierce still here, and they're like, this isn't an easy point to make a decision, and they'd probably hold off. And I think the team that would trade up would probably trade up for Nick I can't pronounce his name. Worry, maybe something like that. It's probably a little bit different. But I don't think it's going to be a long trade up now. I don't think this is going to be like a big, from 32 to 15. I think it's going to be simply a 2-spot trade up between the Falcons and Bengals. I think Hendricks is probably going to be traded by this point, so I don't think he'll be involved. Bengals might use the capital they get from Trey Hendricks to make this trade happen, though. Well, did they just reject 15 for 7? Why would they reject that? You're winning the what? Dude, just do the trade. Anyway, the Bengals select Nick Emenwari out of South Carolina at 15, which leads us to the Cardinals pick. And they will go with let's say James Pierce out of Tennessee. And I'm going to go off rumors, man. I'm going to have to. And I think the Falcons have a likely selection of Jahad Campbell here. I'm not sure if I want an off-ball linebacker. He's not specifically off-ball. But I'm not saying I want a guy who's always on the edge, personally. But I'm trying to make this mock draft as possible or realistic as possible. So, or at least in the realm of possibility and things that I think may happen. And since this is going to be one of my last four mock draft. I want to make sure at least one of them has the Falcons correct pick in it. So Jahad Campbell here out of Alabama. We do like our Alabama players as well. And if you're the Seahawks, you really need receiver. You really need wide receiver. And Luther Burden. Yeah, Luther Burden's probably got. I don't think he had a great combine, if I'm sure. I think he measured well. I'm not sure though. Anyway, Bucks up next. They what are they going to cut Jamel Dean? I think so. Jahdae Barron out of Texas, and next is Denver, who I think this is maybe a boring pick to some of you, but Derek Harmon out of Oregon for the Broncos, which Steelers, they have a few good options here. They could pick Tyler Booker, Will Johnson, Kelvin Banks. Those are all great selections. I don't know why my voice is scratchy like this, but anyway. Maybe my voice is maturing. Maybe I'm getting a deeper voice. I don't know. Maybe I just need some water. I don't know. Maybe I need to stay hydrated. I'm going to go Will Johnson here, though. I just can't see him falling this far very often. Okay, so that feels a little bit better, I think. Anyway, Chargers. I think it was their defense was the problem. Wait, no, or was it their offense? They need receiver. Isn't that right? I think they need a receiver. Yeah, Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State. And now we've got the Packers, who I have taking advantage of another Georgia player. If you want a Georgia player to be selected in the draft, you expect them to go to the Packers or the Eagles. And I think I will keep that up with Mykal Williams. So we're down to about the last 10 or so. And next we've got Minnesota. Ooh, you could keep Siobhan Revel in the purple by having him go to the Vikings. I like that. Siobhan Revel. And next is the Texans. They just traded for Christian Kirk, which is very interesting. Because they have 4 or 5 pretty good receivers. Or at least ones you consider to be a top, at least a third string potentially. Anyway, so they're not picking receiver anymore. I have had them pick a few times. I think Tyler Booker is an excellent pick for the Texans. I don't think there's much reason to doubt it. They need guard. They need line in general. Tyler Booker has recently risen on boards as the best guard. Unless, what's his name, gets moved to guard, Will Campbell. Okay. Kelvin Banks, Josh Simmons, both good potential picks for the Rams. Matthew Stafford's coming back for another season. Ooh, Cameron Williams too. There's a lot of good offensive tackles still available. But I think Josh Simmons out of the University of Ohio State, I guess. I don't know. No, it's just Ohio State University, I think. Next is the Ravens. And I'm going to go for an interesting pick. They do have Odafe Oweh and such. But I think I want Mike Green on the Baltimore Ravens. No. I think that's not the pick here, actually. Let me back up a little bit. Ravens, their receiver problems are still prevalent. Kenneth Grant's there. But I think this is finally the spot where Kelvin Banks goes. And the Lions are where Mike Green is selected. And Commanders. You know what? I don't think the Eagles would miss out on this. This is a small... it's interdivisional, though. It's unlikely. I think the Commanders just stick and pick Kenneth Grant. Definitely here, especially if Josh Allen doesn't stay there. Bills definitely need receiver. which crazy. I've only had 3 trades. Usually, my first trading, I usually have like 4 or 5. But Colson Laughlin's potentially for the Bills. It's sad. I really want Isaiah Bond to go first round, but it seems that's not going to happen. I mean, maybe the Bills just trade down. I mean, they don't have a good receiver option like late first. I think mid-second would probably be a nice spot for them instead. So maybe a team that wants to trade back into the first round. And who's most likely for that? I'll go with. So it'll be Bills. I think I'd say Jaguars. Because it's only 6 spots away. And the Jaguars trade back in. Address the still kind of weak defense with Walter Nolan, interior D lineman. So they get Campbell and Nolan. That was probably like the strong. And that's a pretty strong, too. I mean, I can't see anybody complaining. Chiefs still get Cameron Williams, which is definitely valuable at 31. And we're left with the Eagles still with a pretty good range of selections that are possible here. And I think Donovan Jackson ends the draft. And that should be everything. And the page froze. I don't know what to say about that one. Well, no, it didn't freeze. It just doesn't, like, show you. There's no recap at the end of the draft. It's just, oh, okay. Can I see everything? No? That's weird. I guess that's what happens when you choose to. Oh, I'm a little bit stupid. For result, this is it. Okay, that doesn't show exactly everything. Can I flip this? That doesn't help at all. Let me see. Just zoom out a little bit, and there we go. That is my first mock draft with trades. I wanted to see if I could fit a third quarterback in, but I just can't see it, man. There's probably going to be end up being 4 quarterbacks in the first round. I look stupid, but I always end up having less quarterbacks in my first rounds than actually what ends up happening. But if you guys enjoy, want to see more mock drafts and such, make sure to like the video and subscribe to this channel and my other channel, Glacier. Follow me on my other platforms, X and Instagram. Also, Glacier. See you guys next time. Adios.